Spenny, call us old-fashioned, but we think it's our responsibility to try and figure out what happened when a degenerate, loner, Joe Biden voter, Democrat donor with nefarious and dark mysterious connections to foreign governments and to the feds decided to commit an on-air execution of our president on live TV. This happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. We still know absolutely nothing. We did everything in our power, including traveling there within 4 days. As soon as the yellow tape went up, we were in Butler, Pennsylvania, finding out everything we could about this assassination attempt. And what you could argue is a successful headshot on the president, because they hit Donald Trump in the head with a bullet. Saved by a miracle, but, well, what turns out to be the most miraculous thing about all this is we know nothing. We know nothing about the shooter. We know nothing about who he was working with. We know nothing about where he comes from, what he believed, or potentially what was happening inside of the security services that allowed for this to happen. It sure as hell seems like it's an inside job. And how can we say that? Well, we can say that with certitude because, well, it was an inside job. Secret Service acknowledges denying requests for Trump's security to be tighter. Secret Service gave the dumpiest, dumbest, Lady Ghostbusters, we call them, to protect Donald Trump that day. They weren't actual real security. Obviously, I mean, look at this. They weren't actual Secret Service agents doing this job, doing the detail for Trump. They were on loan. These were losers who were called Homeland Security Police. The same police that trained with Matthew Thomas Crooks at the same gun range. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Anyway, we're really happy that we're not the only ones asking these questions. Sometimes we feel like a crazy man out here. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. One of our former colleagues went viral this week. His name's Greg Kelly. He works at Newsmax. He's a fantastic anchor there. He just interviewed Trump. He's a great show. Anyway, Greg Kelly posted this clip on X of what is a member of Trump's security detail aiming a firearm directly at Trump when he gets inside of his SUV? What the hell is this? Here, have a listen, and we think we might have an explanation, but first the video.
President Trump, after he got shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. I've seen this video 1,000 times, but I never noticed what I'm about to show you. So here he is. He's one more fist bump before he gets in the vehicle. Now, there's this individual over here in uniform. I don't know if he's Secret Service, State Police. He's got a weapon with him, a rifle. Watch what happens. On the radio there. He's pointing his weapon right inside the car. Now, why would he do that? One more time. Trump is in the car. That doesn't make any sense. So I would like to know who that is and why he did that. And I think we need the answer to that and about 15 million other questions answered about Butler, Pennsylvania.
That's right. So we're really thankful for Greg doing research like this and just asking these questions just to keep this shocking security failure at the forefront of everybody's mind is important. Now, here's what's come about. Greg asking, how do we miss this? President Trump was shot. A uniformed gunman aimed a rifle right at him. What the hell was that? What's going on? I guess the extension of this thought process is that this is such an inside job that there was a contingency plan that perhaps some of Donald Trump's own security detail, military, these guys are special operatives here, military detail commits some type of black swan situation where they just take out the president themselves, right, in case the gunman failed. This is the implications here. All right. So what's happened after Greg posted this video? Another video surfaced that was brought to the public attention from somebody who was there. His name's Bricksuit. He was a dude who was standing in the front row. He goes to a ton of MAGA rallies. He's a totally great guy. He's been on the program before, and I know him personally. And Bricksuit has said, wait a second, hold on. You've got to see the full video from the crowd of what's actually happening here, and you'll see the context. Okay, well, let's watch this.
Bricksuit here. I want to talk about this clip that allegedly shows a member of President Trump's security detail at the first Butler rally leveling his rifle and pointing it at the limousine the president is exiting the scene with. What's actually happening here is the telephoto lens is playing tricks on our eyes. He's actually very far in the background. Here's a Secret Service agent who's running towards him. We're going to see this Secret Service agent again in another clip. So as this next clip starts, it's taken from the grandstands, and we're going to see the president being led into the limousine, and in the upper left circled is that member of his security detail with his rifle clearly still pointed in the air. That doesn't mean he can't be aiming at the president later, but as we watch, when he does finally lower the barrel of his weapon, he's aiming well off to the driver's side, pointing it nowhere near the limousine. Let's zoom in a little bit just for clarity, not pointing it anywhere near the limo. And now we're going to see that Secret Service agent begin his run over towards him. So I think we can say with the allegation that that member of the security detail pointed his rifle at the president is completely debunked.
Okay. This seems like a really logical and fact-based argument here. Obviously, the original video is shocking. You can see here the source of the footage. Here is filming from the crowd. Everybody getting down. This is crazy. I haven't actually seen this angle. We've covered this so much. Haven't actually seen this angle of the footage. And you can see what's happening here as they move President Trump into the vehicle. Trump putting up his fist one more time and in. This is the raw, direct from the cell phone footage, and you can see up there in the corner. Let's make it as big as possible here. You can see up there in the corner the special operator zeroing his weapon, and nobody, as far as we can see in this frame, pointing a firearm directly at Trump. Now, of course, you can also see the hysterical look at the Lady Ghostbusters here. There is something really funny about this clip. Look at the Lady Ghostbusters. You can see their inability to holster their weapon. You can't even holster. They're so frazzled they can't even holster their own weapons. So the whole thing, I mean, you could argue probably not the time to zero out your weapon right there. Probably not the time to delay the departure of the limousine, which is something that has now come up in a number of conversations started by Greg Kelly. And here's Greg Kelly saying what the hell happened after Trump was shot. Once he finally got off stage, the SUV, they didn't move. What's happening? Hit the gas. Here's Greg Kelly once again.
All right, so last night we posted a video about President Trump, Butler, Pennsylvania, and something extraordinarily odd happening, at least we thought. And it was odd, quite frankly, and I got communally noted. The community note is bogus. It also is misspelled. But check this out. All right, there's President Trump about to get in the vehicle. One more fist bump. And look at this soldier over here with the gun. All right, now I think this is weird. It just struck me as odd. And 90% of you felt the same way after millions of views. What happens? President Trump is in that vehicle. We got this guy pointing what seems to be a weapon right at the car. Now, it turns out that was an optical illusion. Take a look. There he is all the way over there, approximately 30 to 40 feet away. Okay, fine, mystery solved. Most people don't know about that. I think it's interesting. How about this, though? We haven't cleared this up. So it took about a minute to get President Trump off the stage and into the vehicle. Once he's in the vehicle, you would think that the Secret Service would hit the gas and get the hell out of there. But they don't. What are they waiting for? That car is not moving. And then when it starts to move, it barely moves. It took them about 7 or 8 seconds to get Kennedy out of the kill zone on Elm Street in Dallas. And it took about 6 seconds to get Ronald Reagan away from that Hilton Hotel in Washington. What is this all about? Now, by one witness testimony, somebody in the Secret Service said they could not find the email with the address of the hospital because they didn't have cell service. Is that pathetic or what? This is totally insane and totally beneath America. And it's also beneath America that we don't know what the hell really happened, right? We don't have the answers. People haven't even asked the questions.
I want to say this about Greg Kelly, that the point of a free press is to ask these questions. There was a concerted effort, centralized entirely, to rid all social media of President Trump's assassination. The images were flagged as fake. You couldn't even search Trump assassination. It wouldn't even come up. It'd give you photos of Barack Obama. You couldn't find articles about it. If you did videos about it, they were flagged as fake news. They tried really hard because they knew this would be the election winner for him. They tried really hard. They thought it would be the election ender forever, and they tried really hard as quickly as they could after the fact to try to press down and silence this story. Why? We're thankful for Greg Kelly asking these questions. 2.2 million views here, 17,000 reposts. So here we go. This is an account that you should follow, Greg Kelly. And you should totally watch his Newsmax show at 9. He's a good dude. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We can ask questions. Doesn't matter. Like, okay, fine. That's one question answered. How about the other 50,000? Keep asking. It's your boy Benny.